Hi guys, welcome to week 14. So again, this week it is very important that you follow along with the announcements and the assignments that I have online, because in the springboard activities it talks about doing group work, it talks about scenes from Edward Scissorhands, which we don't have access to. So I've had to modify things a little bit, but if you follow along with what's on the announcements online, you're going to do just fine. All right, so just follow along. So this week is a lot like last week, okay? You are going to look at some clips from one of Tim Burton's other films called Big Fish, and you're going to analyze the cinematic techniques. So I've got a few clips there right off the bat. You can look at them. You're going to watch them twice, okay? Because we can never get enough. We can never see anything with just one view. We can't see everything with just one viewing. So watch it once, look at the framing and the angles, the lighting, the camera movement, the music and the sound, and also the editing that he has done. So you can't get all of that with just one viewing. So watch it twice. If you have a couple blanks in your graphic organizer with the first viewing, that's okay, but get them filled in the second viewing, all right? So watch those clips, fill in the graphic organizer, and then you're going to do an analytical statement. So this is where you're going to write a paragraph analyzing one of the cinematic techniques that you've seen. So I've got the format for you there. You need to have a topic sentence where you say what cinematic technique he uses and why he does that. What's the purpose of that cinematic technique? Then you're going to give me an example of that cinematic technique that you saw in the film clip, and then 2 commentary sentences. So you tell me your thoughts on his use of that cinematic technique. What feeling did it create? What mood did it set? How did it make you feel as the viewer? That kind of commentary. And then, this is a little bit new, then you are going to do a final sentence for closure, like a conclusion sentence. So when you're done, you're going to have a paragraph, but I've got the format there for you to follow. I want you to pay attention to that paragraph format, because this is exactly what you're going to do for your embedded assessment next week. You're going to write paragraphs like that for your body paragraphs in your essay. So you're basically practicing these body paragraphs right now, all right? It's going to make your embedded assessment really easy. Next is your check your understanding. So you see that right there. You are going to write a sentence, 2 sentences actually. This is like a thesis statement, okay? So you're basically creating a thesis statement right now, and you can use this thesis statement next week in your intro paragraph for your embedded assessment. So a lot of the work you're doing now is going to alleviate your workload next week. So save all this stuff. So you're going to write 2 sentences. You're going to tell me what 3 cinematic techniques are most apparent in Tim Burton's films. So think about all the clips we've viewed, okay? Pick 3 cinematic techniques that you see him using a lot, okay? And then you're also going to tell me what effect he creates by using those 3 cinematic techniques, okay? This is a thesis or a claim statement that you can drop into your intro paragraph next week, all right? Next, you are going to write another analytical paragraph. So, again, pay attention to what I've got on here, because your 2.21 springboard activity assignment is a bit modified, okay? So it talks about a lot of group work in springboard activity 2.21. We're not going to do that. And again, it talks about Edward Scissorhands. We're not going to watch any more Edward Scissorhands clips. So just pay attention to what I'm doing. It says there's a writing prompt here. So you're going to write a well-developed paragraph analyzing Burton's use of one specific cinematic technique. So pick one, lighting or sound or something like that. And then you're going to write another analytical paragraph. So you've already done one analytical paragraph on one clip from one of the Big Fish clips that I had on there. Now I want you to pick a different film clip and then write another analytical paragraph. So this is the second analytical paragraph that you've written. The only difference is that you are adding another piece of text evidence. So if you talk about how he used lighting to create a certain effect, and then you give me an example, you need to make sure you include 2 examples from the film clip, all right? In the last analytical paragraph, you just had 1 example from the film clip that showed that cinematic technique. This paragraph, you're going to have 2 examples from the film clip. So 2 different times he used that same cinematic technique. So you're going to want to make sure you pick a film clip where he has used a certain cinematic technique twice, because you need 2 examples, okay? And then the rest is the same. So you've got a topic sentence, 2 text detail sentences, so 2 pieces of film text evidence, and then 2 commentary sentences and your closure or conclusion sentence. All right, so that analytical paragraph is going to be 1 sentence longer than your last one. Again, this is exactly what you're going to do next week for your embedded assessment. I would save this paragraph and maybe you can just copy and paste it into your essay for next week, and it'll save yourself the time for writing a body paragraph in your embedded assessment. All right, now you get to pick a Tim Burton film and you're going to watch the whole movie. All right, so this is like literally your homework is to watch a movie. How nice is that? So you can pick any Tim Burton film. Make sure you his films are fine, but you, make sure you clear it with your parents, of course. You can pick one that we've only seen clips from. So like if you want to watch the whole film of Big Fish, you could. If you wanted to watch the whole film for Alice in Wonderland or Edward Scissorhands or any of those, you can. And you're going to fill out this graphic organizer as you're watching it. So I would just have this up on your computer and be typing in your answers as you're watching the movie, all right? So some of the techniques you're going to look for are the same ones we've been kind of dealing with. Framing and angles, the lighting, the camera movement, the music and sound, the editing. You are going to write down the effect, like give me an example when he used a certain camera angle, and write that in the left-hand column of the graphic organizer. And then in the right-hand column of the graphic organizer, you're going to tell me what effect that had. So if he had a close-up on Johnny Depp, probably, because he uses him so often, what effect did that have, okay? So make sure you use different examples and you're not just like reusing the ones from the film clips that we've seen, because I will know, all right? And then lastly, you're going to do this check your understanding piece. So it says, after viewing the film, what similarities or differences in style and or theme did you notice in relation to the other Tim Burton film clips that you have watched? So basically, what similarities are you seeing, or what differences are you seeing in his films? This brainstorm is going to help you with your embedded assessment. You thinking about these similarities, if you pick like 3 similarities, those could become your 3 body paragraphs for your embedded assessment, your essay that you're going to write next week. All right. So especially these past couple weeks where you've been writing these analytical paragraphs, this is to help you next week with your embedded assessment where you'll write that essay analyzing Tim Burton's cinematic techniques. So save all this, especially your paragraph that had the 2 examples of text evidence, because you could probably just copy and paste that into your embedded assessment next week. Definitely save the claim or the thesis statement that you write, where you write 3 cinematic techniques that are most apparent in Tim Burton's films, because those could be the 3 cinematic techniques you talk about in your body paragraphs. So save all this, and if you are confused, definitely reach out to me, because if you're not understanding this, your embedded assessment is going to be difficult for you, and I want to make sure you're going into that feeling confident, all right? So reach out to me, email, call me, come see me, and I'm here for you to answer any of your questions, all right? Take care, guys. Bye-bye.